What's up, guys? Welcome back to Goshen's Games. Welcome back to another how to play the Dragonball Super card game. So in the previous video, we went over the extra cards. So today we are going to go over what's called the field cards. Now the field cards are still extra cards, but with a little bit of a twist. Okay, so currently in the game there are 4 field cards that are available. You have the Big Getty Star, Cell's Birth, Majin Buu Seal Ball, and then I think another one. The other one is called Broly's Ring or something like that. So field cards play a little bit different than your extra cards and your battle cards, and so we're gonna go over those each, or over these 3, because my Broly card, I have that somewhere. It's just somewhere in these cards. So I'm gonna go over these 3. And that way I can help you to understand how the field cards work. Now there is something to note that as far as the field cards go, so far they are centered around the villain decks. So if you're building like a Meta Cooler deck, a Cell deck, or a Majin Buu deck, these are pretty much staple cards in those decks. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead first. We're gonna look at the Big Getty Star. Let me go ahead and bring that a little bit closer so we can take a look. Okay, so Big Getty Star, extra card. So to start with, if you want to play this card, it's going to cost you 1 energy card, and that 1 energy needs to be a yellow energy. Okay, so that's what you need in order to play this card. So you have this card, you got it in your hand, you have the energy cost, you want to use it. Alright, so field cards, basically they go into play and they stay in play until they're replaced, or in some cases, in some of the cards, when you activate their ability, because then it uses up the card. So for this one though, this one is actually a very, very good card, and it's one of these cards that again, you built up a Meta Cooler deck, so you're going to use this card. Let me read out what it says for field. Place and activate this card in battle area. It remains in the battle area until you activate another field card. When you do, place this card in your drop area. So then you got your activate main. Okay, so for this, I'm actually going to take this card, which is Infinite Multiplication Meta Cooler. I'm actually going to take this card to help explain the Big Getty Star. So when you activate the card, you need to use 1 energy. So it doesn't matter what color energy, so 1 energy. And you switch this card to rest and place 1 card from the top of your deck to the drop area. So your discard pile. So you take 1 card from the top of your deck to your discard pile. So say like this right here is the top of my deck. You take the top one, put it in the discard pile. Done. Okay, so once you do that, you get to choose up to 1 Meta Cooler card with an energy cost of 2 or less from your drop area, and you get to play it. So that's why we're going to use this cooler card to explain that to you. So if this cooler card is in my discard pile, my drop area is what they like to call it, he has a 2 energy cost. Okay, so the ability of the Big Getty Star is when I discard a card from my deck into the discard pile, I get to search my discard pile for a card like this. Now here's where it becomes interesting, because the way that the game works, one of the rules is you are not allowed to have more than 4 of one type of card. Okay, so for example, this Meta Cooler Core, I can only have 4 of these in the deck at one time. But this card breaks that rule. Okay, so this card says permanent, you can include as many copies of this card in your deck as you like, because it fits into the theme of Meta Cooler, where he's constantly making new Meta Coolers. So that's why this kind of card works extremely well and is made for this type of deck, because then you can continuously search for Meta Cooler cards. Okay, and you can put them into play. So that's actually a really, really solid ability. Next one we're going to go over is the Cell's Birth card. Okay, Cell's Birth takes 1 energy cost. It has to be a green energy in order to use this card. So it has a permanent ability. So permanent ability, if your leader card is Cell, you reduce the energy cost of all Cell cards in your hand by 2. That's actually really good. Because for example, So you're running a leader cell. I have a few leader cells. I don't know where I put them. I think they're here somewhere. No, that's not a leader cell, but this works. Okay. Oh, there's a leader cell. So you're running a leader cell. Okay. So if he's your leader, and you have in your hand a few cell cards, and they are, say for example, a pretty high energy cost, so 5 energy cost, the cell leader card in conjunction with the field card reduces the cost of this cell by 2. So then he costs 3 energies instead of 5. Okay, so that's actually really useful. And then that applies to every single cell card that you have in your hand. So if you have multiple cell cards in your hand and you have enough energies to play all of them, if they're reduced, guess what? You can now play all of your cell cards as long as you can pay the energy cost for it. So then the next part of this card is when you play a cell, you place this card in your discard pile. So what that means is as soon as you play this one cell, this goes into your discard pile. Now, the way that it can work to your advantage, again, is if you have multiple cells in your hand, and then you get to play all of them. Okay, so you get to play all of the cell cards, and then after you play all the cell cards, this can go into your discard pile. That can cause quite a headache for your opponent to be able to play multiple battle cards at once. You know, it's all about field control in this game. So if you control the field, you control the game, and having multiple battle cards to be able to attack your opponent, it's very troublesome. It really is. So it's a very good card, and it's you know, it adds a bit of strategy to the game. All right. So the next card, which is the last field card that we're gonna go over for this video, Majin Buu Seal Ball. Alright, so this one here has a very high cost. It has a cost of 10 energies. One of those energies has to be red. It's an end game card. Okay, so for this card, let's see here. Auto, once per turn. When the number of cards under this card reaches 5 or higher, place this card in the drop area and choose up to 1. So, this goes into conjunction with some other cards. So like you place cards underneath this one. Okay, so that's why it says when the number of cards under this card reaches 5 or higher, place this card in the drop area, then choose up to 1 Majin Buu revived from your deck and play it and shuffle your deck. I have a Majin Buu revived. I don't know where he is. He has a very high energy cost as well. He has a cost of 10. This is kind of like a difficult card to use because he goes in conjunction with Majin Buu revived, and if I should have prepared a little bit better and actually had a Majin Buu revived to show you guys. But yeah, he takes quite a bit of energy, and nope, that's the wrong Majin Buu. Here we go, Majin Buu revived. All right, so Majin Buu revived. So the way that this card works, he costs 10 energy cost, as you can see here. So it's a very difficult card to pull off, and it's not like it's really that worth it, because I mean, you look at it, double strike, this card inflicts 2 damage instead of 1. That's a good ability. Auto, when you play this card with the skill of Majin Buu Seal Ball, inflict 1 damage to the opponent's life. So if you had this and then you pulled this card in, because of this, you get to inflict an automatic 1 damage to the opponent's life. He has a decent power, which is 20,000, but it's a very hard combo to pull off because you're going to constantly put cards underneath this one until you reach 5. So once per turn, you place a card under here, and then again, once you reach 5 cards or higher, which you would stop at 5 to be honest, you go through your deck and you pull one of these out, and then you shuffle your deck. So you know that it's fine. I mean, the good thing is, like, you don't discard this one. Okay, so it'll constantly stay in play, but it's such a hard thing to pull off because you generally don't want to have cards with that high cost unless it's like, you know, you're gonna one-shot somebody. because there are cards that have a high cost like that are extremely good cards. So with that, I hope you found this a little bit useful as far as the field cards go. And when can you play them? So give you a little bit of information on that. When can you play your field cards? Pretty much in your main phase is when you do it. So your main phase, you have your cards in your hand, okay, and then in your hand you have this. You have enough energy cost. You go ahead and you place this, and you place it in your battle area, so that way you can go ahead and use it. So that's when you use these cards during your main phase, which is generally when you use most of your cards anyways. So I hope you found it informative. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Subscribe if you're new. I will catch you all later. You guys have a great rest of your day, night, whatever time zone you're at. Peace out, guys.